Hi guys, thanks for checking out the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and bell. Okay, so one of the most frustrating things you can run into as a Street Fighter V player is facing Laura. She's not the best character in the game. She's probably not even the top 5 characters in the game, but she does have V-trigger that is more robbery, I think, than anybody else at this point. And it can be incredibly maddening to be beating her for the entire round and then one wake-up jab into activate into the blender later, and suddenly it didn't matter that you were beating her by 90% of your health, you're dead. That can suck a lot. And look, there's no magical answer for getting out of her V-trigger shenanigans. That's her strongest place. She's a grappler that wants to be next to you. She gets to play rock, paper, scissors and has 2 guesses. At least that's how it feels most of the time, all of the time. There are 5 things that I don't see people doing, myself included most of the time, until I made this video and really buckled down and focused, that can help you not let Laura get away with BS and give you a better shot at beating her. And one of them does have to do with the V-trigger, but that's not the end, so you have to wait. Thing number 1, stop letting Laura get her fireballs out on the screen. Laura is not a very good character when it comes to neutral. Her buttons are so-so, her walk speed is abysmal, and she has to resort to committed movements like dashes, command dashes, or jumps to really get close to you, and you can react to those things. Actually, one of the threads that's going to run through all of this is stop trying to start offense on Laura. Make her come to you, and then when you get the knockdown because she's overextended, that's when you pounce on her and take advantage of her bad defense. So keep that in your head through all of this. But number 1, don't let her get fireballs out on the screen, because when she puts a fireball out there, all of a sudden she gets to follow that sucker, and you're either going to get clipped by it and take some damage, or she's just going to be able to take the space and walk you to the corner. Either way, it's no bueno for you. But what you can do is use your anti-Laura fireball button to stop her. What is your anti-Laura fireball button? I don't know. You have to figure that out, but it's probably crouching light kick or standing light kick. You'd think it'd be a medium button, but it just tends not to be. So go into training mode, have a Laura dummy that just kind of goes around and throws fireballs. You can set that up with the training options and figure out what button, probably standing or crouching light kick, stuffs that fireball and gets it so that it completely dissipates. One of the things that you really want to remember here is that Laura backs up a little bit as she's charging, and then she comes forward as she's about to release. When she comes forward, that's when you want to hit her. If you stop Laura's from being able to get fireballs out on the screen, they usually start to squirm because now they don't know what to do to play neutral. They'll start jumping. Well, you have anti-airs, or at least you should. The other thing that a lot of Lauras get away with, and this is tip number 2, is that they'll go for light elbow, which is -2. Now, a lot of moves that are -2 in this game are actually really tricky because they'll leave you at some weird spacing where if you try to take your turn back or you try to punish, you'll actually get whiff punish, things like that. But that's not this move. Laura gets really close to you, she has abysmal walk speed, and she doesn't have an invincible reversal, so she really has to hold the -2, only if you force her to though. So the first thing that you do when you see a Laura just do an elbow and you block it, use a 5-frame button, because she's got a 3-frame. So if she gets counter hit here, that means she's pushing a button, and then you can just rinse and repeat every time she does the elbow. She's probably going to get hit until she starts blocking here. If she's blocking here, that means she's respecting the positive frames, and that means you can take extra advantage. Instead of just taking your turn, which you can do a 7 to 9 frame move, especially a safe crush counter here, because what that does is it usually gives the Laura player just enough time to stop blocking or to try to start walking backwards into safety. If you have some low hitting safe move that's 7 to 9 frames, use that. If your character has a command grab, the command grab works really well here often because they're just holding back, respecting the positive frame. Don't let Laura's do this move and just get away with it for free. And also know that she's particularly at disadvantage because she doesn't have that reversal and she doesn't have quick walk speed to get out of the danger zone. Okay, so what happens when you inevitably do get regular command grabbed? Well, Laura gets a cool setup afterwards where she does that light elbow, but this time it's going to be meaty and it's going to leave her at 0. You need to know what you're supposed to do at this very common situation. Well, if you have a 3-frame jab, you can just mash the 3-frame jab after you block the elbow, and at the worst, you're going to trade. At the best, you might actually steal your turn. If you don't have a 3-frame jab, you have to hold this situation. But V-shift is a really good answer for after you've taken a command grab, because she has to try to charge forward and take the space or go for the meaty hit, and V-shift is going to help you get away from both of those scenarios. Alternatively to the elbow, she might go for EX command grab and wait for you to just be blocking. So to beat that, set up a Laura dummy in training to either do the command grab into the elbow or command grab into EX command grab. What you're going to want to do with your character is time an option select jump where you tap up just as the block stun of the elbow would hit. What's going to happen is if she does the elbow, you're going to block. If she does the command grab, you're going to neutral jump and come down with your hardest hitting combo. All right, tip number 4 is you can know which side she's going to be on when she hits her EX fireball juggle. One of the most common sequences you'll see Laura players do is hit you with a combo into EX fireball, which puts you in the air, and then she hits you with either medium kick or heavy punch and then does a command dash, and she can be on either side. Now you have a mix up where she's either going to strike you or command grab you, and you don't even know which side she's going to be on. But you can know which side she's going to be on. If she uses the standing medium kick after the fireball, she's going to cross you up. If she uses heavy punch, she's going to look like she's going to cross you up, but she's going to be on the same side. This is true for most of the cast, but you want to test this in training mode because certain characters, I think Colleen is one of them, don't obey these rules exactly. But you can know how this works for your main characters and therefore at least know which side to block on when she hits you with this goofy EX fireball scenario. All right, and the last big tip here does have to do with the V trigger, but it's more about the V trigger activation. Once she's got you in the blender, man, I mean, you can kind of know her sequences and such, but it's a lot of prayers. Sending you thoughts and prayers from this video right now, next time you're in a Laura blender. Not getting there is much more of the battle that you want to be fighting. So when a Laura player has V trigger stocked, you know they have one thing on their mind: block stun into activation. One of Laura's absolute favorite ways to get this started is on her own wake up. She's got a 3-frame jab that for some reason works so often here. It's like people just magically mistime their meaties. I don't know what it is, but the answer to it is meaty Laura. Every time when she has V trigger stocked, if she's knocked down, meaty her. And if you're not close enough or you're not sure, back the heck up. Don't risk getting jabbed into V trigger blender stuff. The good news is most of the time you are going to get that counter hit, because if you time things right and she's pressing that button, she's dead. And that's awesome. All right, another big move that she likes to activate with is her forward fierce, and that's a 2-hitting move. Now the thing about forward fierce is if you try to V reversal on the activation, you're gonna probably just get command grab. So if you see this move come out, you want to V reversal on the first hit, not the second one. And the same thing goes for things like medium punch into fireball into activate. If you V reversal after the fireball once you see the flash, that's no bueno. You're just spending V gauge so that you can get hit. But if you see the medium punch and she's beginning the fireball, that's when you want to V reversal preemptively, push her away, because again, getting her back into neutral where she's not as strong is what you want to do. So at her core, Laura is 100% a grappling type character. She doesn't look like Zangief. She's not as physically intimidating as a hulking Zangief marching towards you, but you should kind of think of her that way. And again, not go full screen, not let her get those fireballs out, but stay at that range where you can shut down those fireballs and react to her forward advances. There's no one answer to when she actually gets her blender started, and I think that's evidenced by the fact that IDOM can be doing it to the top level players that do all the research in the world, and it's really effective still against all of them. When you are in the blender, hey, V-shift adds a new layer and a new potential for escape. It's not a get out of jail free card, and you know all those Laura players are out there figuring out answers to when you V reversal, when you V shift, all that stuff. But it's one more option that makes things a little bit more complicated, and that means a little more potential for you to escape. I guess I would say you should probably hold on to your V meter if Laura's getting close to having V trigger as opposed to activating, unless you can kill with it. Okay guys, so this isn't all of the answers against Laura. It's not like you watch this video and all of a sudden you're going to beat every single Laura that you encounter, but if you take advantage of the tips that we've laid out here, I think your win rates against Laura will go up and your frustration levels will go down. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Let us know in the comments if this helped you out, and if you have any other particular situations and characters and scenarios that you have problems with, let us know, and maybe I'll make a video on that next.